In this video, traders are going to look at why now is a really crucial time to be mindful of your emotions related to trading. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me. All right, so filming this in the midst of the coronavirus crisis, mid-March or so, but pretty useful, to be honest, whenever you're trading, but really exaggerated now. Talked lots and lots in plenty of videos, which you can go and check out, at your own leisure, about managing emotions, or more, I've kind of moved away slightly from the managing and more of the observation and recognizing how they're impacting your trading. And now, more so than ever, is a crucial time to be just so on top of this and so aware of this. Why is that the case? So, when we're trading, and some of the things we've talked about before is, external influences. You've had an argument with your wife, your husband, your kids, whatever it may be. The external things that we kind of think about in the mind, we don't think is affecting our trading. It is. It's there, and often it's going to come out in our trading if we're not careful. It's going to come out as a kind of an angry trade or a revenge trade, or all these kind of things that we know that don't really serve us as traders. But at the moment, we all have this issue where we're all a little bit concerned. We're all a little bit, some of us less than others. Some of us are really concerned about it. Some of us are far less concerned about it. But everyone is thinking about it. It's on almost everybody's minds. And so, when you're trading, if you're trading this environment, like I said before, there's no problem in just not trading this at all. You've got to be mindful that, if your mind is elsewhere and you're thinking, what about if I go into quarantine? If we're going to lockdown, how am I going to see this person? How am I going to do it? If you're constantly thinking about, other things, then it will impact your trading. So you've got to be very mindful that if you're concerned about it, or even if you're not specifically concerned, you're just thinking about the logistics of things. Like I found myself thinking about some of the logistics of what could happen if we get into lockdown and stuff, and recognizing that, hey, if I'm going to trade now, I need to shut that off. And we can think about it and consider it later and come up with a plan and stuff. But it's very easy for them to come together because we feel like we're trading the coronavirus news. And of course, our mind is thinking about our home, other bits and pieces, our family, even, from the health perspective, there's people who are very concerned about, some of your elderly relatives or people who are unhealthy, or even, it's impacting everybody, guys. So we don't need to go through all that. But if you're constantly thinking about that kind of thing, it's going to impact your trading. So you've got to be very mindful of that. And you've got to be very mindful about how that comes over into your trading. So very mindful of separating it, very mindful that if you're waiting for a trade, your mind's not drifting off into something else, because that ultimately will influence what you're trading. We're in a very unique situation where these external influences are impacting our trading opinion on the market. And if you're thinking about, perhaps buying a bounce and you're purely trading it intraday, in which case, what happens over the next few months is irrelevant. You're trading the price action bounce off the low, whatever it may be. You may well not want to hold it because you're thinking, we could go into lockdown. You've got a fundamental fear of, what could happen, or vice versa. Maybe you're kind of shorting, bounces or whatever it may be, and you're thinking, hey, I hope we come out of this, and you're trying to think positively about the longer term aspect of society, and that's impacting your trading. So we're in a unique situation where the external influences are really influencing our day-to-day trading. So be very mindful of that. Another thing, guys, is, be careful that trading is we know trading is super stressful. We know it's challenging. We know that with money involved, it becomes even more of a pressure to us, and especially if you're a kind of newer trader, the pressure is greater because you don't have any confidence to draw on, any results to draw from, any kind of track record to think, hey, I've been through this before, relax. And that can add extra pressure. And the last thing you want when we have external crisis happening in the world is to be, worried about your trade. So there's no shame or harm in literally saying, I'm just not going to touch this. I'm going to focus on getting my family through this and do that and planning. I'm not even putting any money at risk at all, because I know that's just going to exaggerate your emotion. Can you imagine, you get some dreadful news from the government, and you get perhaps not so good news from friends or family, and then your positions go against you. It's just not that good for your health. So if you're going to trade it, be mindful about splitting up the kind of days, so to speak, and so trying to be aware of the emotions. If it starts to creep in when you're trading, then just back off. If you can trade without that emotional pressure, then great. If you've kind of learned to, manage them a little bit, or learn to understand them and accept and appreciate them and recognize when they're coming in and recognize when they're not, then you're in a good place to trade. So it's just really a little bit of a video, guys, to say there's a lot of pressure on us as traders, and now we've got extra pressure as well. We've all got it. This is a very unique situation where we all have. It's all in our minds, and again, some people are more concerned than others, but it's all on our minds. And so it would be incorrect to say it's not influencing your trading in some way. And so the video is really to say, just be mindful of that, just be aware of it. And if it's influencing your trading too much, step back. And then when you kind of centered and refocus and you're trading purely based on your strategy, whether you're using price action or whatever it may be, then use time to kind of get involved with the markets, blah, blah, blah. But being fully aware of those emotions, guys, is a really, really key part in trading. It always has been, and even more so now. Super, super crucial. Just please stay safe out there. Please keep that trading capital intact. If you can grow it during this time, that's fantastic. That's great. The opportunity is there. If you're just locking down and you're kind of keeping stuff tight, then fine. Markets will be here for a long, long period of time coming up. Take care. Bye-bye.